Hello, good evening. It's Doc Kyle again, and I'm gonna start my lecture on male and female reproductive system. But for now, I'm gonna start with the male reproductive system lang, and then I'm gonna add another video on the female reproductive system now. So, I would like you to read your notes while you're watching the video. So, the male and female reproductive system, no? So, this is when you think of the male and female reproductive system, I want you to remember one thing, that the only organ that matters, no, is the ovary and the testes, no. All the other organs, no, your penis, your vagina, your fallopian tubes, and your uterus serve um, serve a supportive, an important but a supportive role. No, they're important supportive roles. No, so if because what happens is that the cells produced by your testes and your ovary, namely the sperm cell and the egg cell, no, they need to meet, no, so that there will be fertilization. That's their main purpose in life, no. So a recurring theme in my lectures is I emphasize on what is the purpose of the cell, no, because purpose precedes the form and the function, no. So the purpose of your sperm cell and your ovary is to meet, no, and then that's their only purpose, to meet, and when they meet, they become a fertilized egg, and then they become eventually a new human. That's the goal, no, that's the goal. But in order for them to meet and get fertilized, no, they need lots of specialized and supportive organs, no. Think of it this way, that the male and female um, reproductive system, apart from the ovaries and the testes, are just a series of tubes connecting them together. If you think of it that way, then it's just everything. It's purpose, no. It's just a tube so that the egg and the sperm will connect to each other, no. So okay, if we're gonna look here, no, so we're gonna zoom that. We can see that this is the testis, no. Within it, there's what we call our seminiferous tubules, no. And in these seminiferous tubules, that's where our spermatocytes reside, no. Our sperm cell lineage reside, no. The stem cells, the developing sperm cells, and eventually the mature sperm cells, no. That's all. That's where they originate. And outcasing it is our scrotum, no. The outer layer is the scrotum. So the purpose of this scrotum, no, the hanging scrotum, is because spermatogenesis is a very heat sensitive na process, no. So it needs to, for it to be optimally for spermatogenesis to optimally proceed, it needs to be cooler than the body temperature. But if it's really cold outside, it needs to get warmer, so that's why it goes up when it's cold, no. So here from the testes, when the sperm cells are released to mature, they go up the track through the epididymis first, and then the vas deferens. This is the vas deferens, no. This is what is cut during vasectomy, no. And then eventually to the prostate, eventually to the urethra, and eventually outside, no. So like I said earlier, it's just a highway, no, for the sperm to travel. And in this highway, always remember that the sperm cannot travel without any lubrication, no. So this highway, there is always a constant production of secretions, no? Mucinous, and eventually upon ejaculation, semen, no? So there are lots of glands, the seminal vesicles, the bulbourethral glands, no? Our prostate glands, they contribute for this fluid, no? Because if the reproductive system, apart from the gonads, no, which is your testis and ovary, are ay kanang just a highway, and the sperm cell is the car. The sperm cell needs gasoline, no? So to power this sperm cell, it takes its nutrients from the surrounding fluid, no? The semen, the fructose, no? Anyway, kato. So, kate, next slide. Alright, so the testis, no? In each testis, there is approximately 250 lobules, which contain one or more very long convoluted seminiferous tubules in a sparse vascular stroma containing testosterone producing interstitial cells, no? So these interstitial cells are called Leydig cells, no? Within the seminiferous tubules consist spermatogenic epithelium containing columnar Sertoli cells which support and nourish many germ cells embedded at its surface, no? So interstitial is your Leydig, which produce testosterone, and within the seminiferous tubules are your Sertoli cells, no? They are the ones in direct contact with your spermatocytes, no? They are the ones directly nourishing them and supporting them. So in this close-up view, over here, alright, no? So this is the close-up view of your testes, no? So let's center that. Alright. Alright, let's move my face now. So this here, the white thing na makita ninyo sa sulod, no? That is your seminiferous tubules, no? For the most part, division and production of new sperm cells occur in the seminiferous tubules, no? And it is a very long tube. The reason why it's convoluted is that so that more of this tube can be fit in this space, no? It's like crumpled together, because once your sperm cell developed there, it needs to traverse the seminiferous tubules for it to undergo maturation, no? So, kana siya. And upon reaching this, mediastinum testis, no? It undergoes more maturation pa, no? Until it eventually reaches your epididymis, and then eventually your ductus deferens and your vas deferens eventually, no? So, kato. So looking here in the histologic view, no? This is a cut section of the kanang seminiferous tubules ni mo, no? Pag tungaon siya, this is a tube, you cut it in half, and then it's this one, the enfache, no? Enfache view. So if you look over here, this is your seminiferous tubules, no? And in between this seminiferous tubules, in the interstitium, we have our interstitial cells, also known as our testosterone producing cells, or our Leydig cells. And then we have our, in the basal area, no? If there is a tube, no? The hollow portion in the middle is called the lumen, no? It's the lumen. And the solid tube area is called the base, no? It's a basal, no? So here, near the base or parabasally, no, basally located, is we have our spermatogonia. No? Oh, sorry, balik ta. We have our M, no? We have our myoid cells, no? Why is there myoid cells? From the name itself, it's myoid, meaning it has a muscular component, no? Because to propel the contents of the tube, there must be constriction, no? Like peristalsis in your colon, no? I not in your intestines, no? There must be peristalsis so that it will move forward the contents, no? And these contents are produced by your spermatogonia. The spermatogonia is your stem cells, kumbaga, no? What are stem cells, no? As we talked earlier, stem cells are the ones that they are the ones who divide continually to replenish the population, no? So what happens is this spermatogonia, it will divide into two. One of the two will mature into a mature sperm cell while one remains a spermatogonia, no? So that there will be a reserve, no? They will be the ones in charge of replenishing the sperm cell population. And now there will be after their mitosis, no? They will go now to become a spermatocyte, no? The spermatocyte undergoes your meiosis, no? The spermatocyte still has no tail pa, no? And it is deeply no, this is the primary spermatocyte, no? Is spermatocyte. So the spermatocyte, the primary spermatocyte PS has still no doesn't still have a tail, no? And it is in deep association with your Sertoli cell. This is a Sertoli cell. If you look more closely, no? If you look closely, the Sertoli cell has an these are Sertoli cells over here. It has an elongated nucleus, no? With a prominent nucleolus, no? These Sertoli cells are associated with your primary. This is also a Sertoli cell over here with your primary spermatocytes and your spermatids, no? This is your late spermatids. So the transition from primary spermatocyte to late spermatid is that the nucleus of a spermatid is smaller and they begin to have tails. No, look over here, they have tails now. So okay, let's start from the top. Spermatogonia after mitosis then becomes primary spermatocyte, then becomes a spermatid, no? And then your spermatid eventually becomes your mature spermatocyte, no? Your spermatocyte, mature sperm cell, which then fertilizes the egg, no? The ovum. Okay. Alright. Alright, so next slide. Tight junctions between the Sertoli cells establish two compartments within the seminiferous tubules, no? A basal compartment with the spermatogonia and the adluminal compartment with the spermatocytes and the spermatids, no? Like I said earlier, the lumen is the central hollow portion and the lining of the tube is your basal portion. The Sertoli cells also produce androgen-binding protein which concentrates the testosterone which is produced by your Leydig cells, no? Phagocytose, the shed debris from differentiating spermatids, secrete fluid which carries sperm along the tubules, no? So this is another view. here. So, oh, oopsie. Clara ba? Alright, let's go. So here, this is another cut section of your seminiferous tubules, no? So, as you can see here, this is your interstitial cell. This is a picture of the supporting cells, no? They support the sperm cell lineage, no? This is your interstitial cells. This is your Sertoli cells, no? Note that the myoid cells are flattened. They are the ones flattened, outlining the seminiferous tubules, no? They are flattened because they are oriented circumferentially along the tubule, no? Meaning circumferentially, they orient themselves along the circumference of the tube, no? Because they constrict the tube to push out the contents, which is the mature spermatids, the fluids, no? And these are your Sertoli cells. They have elongated nuclei. No, they have elongated nuclei. And we have our interstitial cells, no? So in between the cut section of the seminiferous tubules, we have our Leydig cells here, no? They produce testosterone. No, so this is immunohistochemistry, no? So maybe sa histopathology ninyo, it will be more explained more. Alright. So stem cells called spermatogonia, diba? They are the stem cells of your sperm cell lineage, undergo mitosis and give rise to primary spermatocytes, no? Which undergo the first meiotic division to form haploid secondary spermatocytes, and after a very short interval, secondary spermatocytes undergo the secondary meiotic division to produce round spermatids, which then differentiated while still associated with your Sertoli cells, no? What does that mean, no? We will break it down, yo, no? Ata din eh, no? So, let's zoom in. Alright. Zoom in. Alright. So, this is the basal na pod, no? This is the basal area of your seminiferous tubules. Always look for the myoid cell, no? Because they are the ones that outline the seminiferous tubules. And directly near adjacent, no? Adjacent meaning tapad. Tapad sa ato ang myoid cells, no? Is our spermatogonia, which is our sperm cell stem cells, no? So after they do mitosis, no? So they do mitosis, no? One becomes a primary spermatocyte, no? So it chills here lang, no? The other one just chills and becomes a spermatogonia gihapon. Like I said earlier, to replenish the population, no? And then the primary spermatocyte over here, no? Then undergoes its first meiosis, no? Meiosis 1. And then after a while, it then undergoes its meiosis 2, which it will now become a spermatid, no? Spermatogonia. Yeah, here, spermatid, no? So, if you can notice, no, the part na nag-ingon ganiha na the Sertoli cells make an a barrier between the spermatogonia, no, and the spermatogonia and the spermatocytes and spermatids, no, is apparent because if you look closely, your Sertoli cells here, the columnar cells, no, nagdikit lang ang unsa diha, nagdikit lang diha ang mga spermatocytes and the spermatids, because they get their nourishment from the Sertoli cells, no? And the part na ganihan nag-ingon na phagocytosis, tanawi pagod ng look at this primary spermatocyte. It's quite a big boy, no? How did it end up like this, no? So somebody had to cut put this big boy into shape. So katong Sertoli cell phagocytize the debris, no, after the primary spermatocytes transforms into the late spermatid, no. It's so kato, no, so mahima silang late spermatid, no, after a while. So balik ta, so your imuhang the order of maturation is spermatogonia, no, this is your kind of spermatogonia, and then magmitosis siya. Then it will now become your primary spermatocyte, no? Tapos imong primary spermatocyte magmitosis 1, no? Then it will become a haploid spermatocyte, no? So what is the purpose of meiosis tayo, meiosis 1, no? What is the purpose of meiosis di ay, no? Meiosis is a type of cell division that is limited to germ cells, no, or germ cells or kanang mga sex cells, no. The purpose of that is to divide the total chromosome count from 46, no, 22 somatic chromosomes and 1 sex chromosome to from 46 mo ni ang 23, no. So 22 plus 22 somatic plus 1 sex chromosome, no. So that when the mature sperm cell encounters the mature ova, magdikit sila, they form another 46 chromosome set, no, which is totally unique, no. So the purpose of having a unique set of chromosomes, no, is because in nature, the more diverse you are, the harder you are to kill, no. So because in that combination, no, in that combination of chromosomes and DNA, there might sprout mga adaptations to mga challenges, no, like example, like how kana mga African, no, they have a blood group type that is very resistant to kanang malaria, no. So mga ana ba, so and then how kato same pod sa mga tropical countries, how we develop kaning darker skin compared to our Caucasian brethren, no. So because kana this kanang sharing of half of DNA through kanang parts, no, to form one, that is where you make a diverse kanang genetic makeup, yet in turn gina-uniform pud nimo ang next generation, no. So if your mother has blonde hair, most probably kung kanang autosomal dominant to na trait, ang mga anak niya magka more or less na majority na magka blonde hair, no. So kana ba, it's giving diversity, yet it's homogenizing the next generation. So kato, no, so after niya meiosis, ikaduhang meiosis, mag-unsa na siya, mahimo na siya og spermatid. So spermatogonia, mitosis, and then primary spermatocyte. Then sunod is spermatogonia, mitosis, primary spermatocyte, meiosis 1, mahimo na siyang haploid primary spermatocyte, and then meiosis 2, it becomes your ES pa siya, lingin pa siya, early spermatid pa ni siya, no, early spermatid. And then further development, mahimo na siya og late spermatid, no. Alright, hopefully na-gets ninyo to. So, the spermatid undergoes spermiogenesis by condensing its nucleus, di ba? From a big boy sa imong early spermatid o primary spermatocyte, no? And forming a long flagellum with a surrounding mitochondrial middle piece and forming a perinuclear acrosomal cap, no? So, kani, ah, kato, spermatid ang naay flagella, no? Spermatocyte wala pa, spermatogonia wala pa, no? Spermatogonia is your stem cell. Spermatocyte is the first stage, no, na mahati na imuhang chromosomes. Diha na mag-start ang imong meiosis, no, sa spermatocyte, no? And then pagka spermatid na ka, diha na ka magkaroon og flagella. So what is this perinuclear acrosomal cap? No, the acrosomal cap is like a very corrosive na enzyme, no, because the ova still has a very protective capsule pa, no, which we will talk about later, no, on the next video. So the concept that you're the first sperm na nakaadto sa ova is quite wrong, no, because the first sperm na nakaabot sa kanang sa egg cell, no, kay wala siya nakadulot, no, naluya lang siya because the capsule, no, the thing that surrounds the egg cell is very gahi, no. So this perinuclear acrosomal cap is an enzyme that degrades that katong, let's say, capsule na lang, and it needs to have repeated damage until eventually mag-give way na siya, magkabangag na siya. And then when that hole happens, no, nag-weaken na to siya, the sperm that can go in na will eventually kana merge its DNA with the ovum's or the egg cell's DNA, no. Thus, fertilization occurs, no. So, kato. So, the seminiferous tubules, sperm enter the short straight tubules, which leads to the retitestes in the mediastinum tenses, then move via 15 or 20 efferent ductules where the fluids is absorbed. Ganito siya, oh. So, the Sertoli cells are really kanang supportive, no. Here. Kana. Let's zoom that. So, balik na punta, no? So, this is your interstitial cells, no? Your Leydig. This is the interstitial space. This is the basal area, no? So, this is the basal area. Wala gipakita imong myoid cells, no? And this is your spermatogonium, no? And then, this is this big columnar, boys. Gipadakuan lang nila na siya, no? But in reality, it's quite smaller. The background cell na columnar is your Sertoli cell, but gipadakuan na nila na. So, kato. So, mitosis in the spermatogonium, meaning still have, because mitosis, you just have the same amount of chromosomes, no? 46, and then your daughter cells will also have 46 and 46, no? So this one will become a spermatogonium lang gyapon ni siya, while this one will progress, no, into your primary spermatocyte, no? And then it will go undergo meiosis 1 to have a haploid spermatocyte, no, the secondary spermatocyte, and then it will now undergo meiosis 2, no, to produce your spermatids, no. So this is your early spermatid and this is your late spermatid, no. Nakadikit na sila tanan sa Sertoli cell, no. Kani, so this is your early spermatid. So eventually nag-condense iyang nucleus, and then eventually imong acrosomal cap naga-form. This is your midpiece, no? And then finally kanina yung noun naka-acrosome, midpiece, and your flagella. So one fun fact, no? So mitochondria has their own DNA because in the study of evolutionary biology, no? So una, mitochondria was a different single-celled microorganism, no? So nagsymbiosis siya sa usa ka bigger na single-celled na microorganism. So what happens is the bigger boy, no, provides protection, siya ang nagaphagocytosis sa mga nutrients, no? And it keeps the mitochondria safe within, no? So gi-assign ni ang mitochondria og trabaho to produce ATP because ATP is all that matters in that small scale, no? Because the big boy, the bigger cell that housed the mitochondria, isn't very efficient, no, in producing ATP in contrast to your mitochondria, no? But the mitochondria then had only to focus on doing kanang oxidative phosphorylation, no, to produce a lot of ATP. So mao to iyang function. So kato. So eventually as time progressed, no, the mitochondria had very specific na mga responsibilities apart from producing ATP. It's the one in charge of activating apoptosis, no, which is your programmed cell death, no. In general, so kato, since the mitochondria is a separate entity ay microorganism sa una, it still had its own genetic material in it, no. So where does this short story lead to? In all humans, no, the only source for your mitochondrial kanang genetics, no, mitochondrial DNA, no, genetic material, mitochondrial genetic material is from your mother, no? Because when your father's sperm reaches the ovum, it will detach everything from the mid piece up to the tail, and in the mid piece, that is where all the mitochondria and all the mitochondrial genetic material from your father reside. So all the mitochondria in your body, the genetic material in the mitochondria in your body is from your mudrakens, no? So you have to love your mother even more because she's the literal one who gives you energy, more or less, no? Anyway, so kato, it's acrosome and nucleus. That's enough for the short story, no? Adjust. No? So it's hard to be a streamer, no? Just alright. Alright, let's go. Next slide. So kato, this is just more lang. So remember na we have kato this residual bodies, no? Like I said earlier, the spermatids, especially the early spermatids, no, they're still big boys compared to the mature spermatozoa, no. So they need to trim down some stuff. So kana tong mga residual bodies ginakaon na sila sa imuhang Sertoli cells, no. That's what the Sertoli cells phagocytose. Excuse me. Next is, so, excretory genital ducts, no? From efferent ductules, sperm move into and through the epididymal ducts in the head, body, and the tail of the epididymis, also located in the scrotum for their final maturation and short storage prior to ejaculation. No? The epididymis is lined by pseudostratified columnar epithelium containing principal cells which have long stereocilia. No? So what are these stereocilia? No? It's just very long cilia na wala galihok. That's why they're called stereo. Along its length, and the number of surrounding smooth muscle layers increase. No? So at ejaculation, the body and the tail of the epididymis are emptied into the ductus vas deferens, also lined by pseudostratified columnar epithelium with three thick layers of smooth muscles for peristalsis. No? So, in ejaculation, no, kailangan jud projectile jud ang paggawa sa semen, no, because it really needs to overcome a lot of forces. No, in intercourse manggod, there are a lot of forces na actually in reality lisod jud kaayo maabot tong sperm cell into the ova, so dapat mag-work in unison jud ni sila tanan. Kusog daghan kag sperm count, no, tapos kusog pud imong mga sperm kung gihan pud kaayo, and ang delivery pod kay insakto pod. No, so these are your genital ducts. No, so a duct is just a tube. No, it's just a tubo ng ducts. No, so these are your ducts. So the seminiferous tubules, this is immunohistochemistry. No, so the usual staining kaning black and white, that's are like this one, it's HNE, hematoxylin and eosin. No, hematoxylin ang nucleus because kato hematoxylin is an alkaline stain and the nucleus is acidic, and then the cytoplasm is kanang eosin because most of the proteins are alkaline, so modikit pod ang eosin, which is an acidic stain. No, alkaline stain. And then acidic stain, acidic stain ang eosin. Sorry, naglag akong brain. Acidic stain ang eosin, tapos modikit siya og mga alkaline na components, while your hematoxylin is a basic stain, magdikit siya og mga acidic components. Alright. So, so this is an retetestes ninyo, simple cuboidal epithelium, imong retetestes, no? So, tapos different ductules consisting of simple cuboidal cells. No, so the retetestes, no, it's just another tube along your male reproductive system. No, and then so kato lined by simple cuboidal, nothing gets simpler than that. So the long coiled duct of the epididymis where sperm undergo maturation and short-term storage. No, so if you're really wondering ngano taas kaayo jud ni ng mga coils, no, it's because na after production and initial maturation sa imuhang seminiferous tubules, no, their spermatozoa needs to go further, no, na maturation and further cross-checking with its genetic component, its motility, and its enzymatic capability, because if the sperm is in the slightest defective, you can bet that it will never be able to do fertilization. No, even if you had other if you have other components optimally prepared, like example insaktong value, insaktong sperm count, but naay unsa ang flagella di mo kay very short, wa gyapon, no? And even still, even if you have a perfect sperm cell, no, na ay daot day na genetic chromosome ay na unsa ang imuhang genetic material kay quite defective, ang mahitabuan na ma-abortion lang gyapon siya, no? So if you really think of it, no, from a biological standpoint and from a kana biological standpoint, it really transcends, no, into a philosophical spiritual view, no, sa kadaghang pwede mali mahitabo, no, sa kadaghang pwede mali mahitabo, yet you are here listening to me lecture about the male reproductive system, no. That means the Lord really put you here to listen to this, no. So kato, let's live our life for Him, no. Now we have a lot to be thankful about even in these trying times, no. So kato, like I said earlier, this is your vas deferens, no. So your vas deferens is the one that they cut, no, for vasectomy. Meaning kung magpa-vasectomy ang lalaki, intact lang gihapon iyahang spermatogenesis. The thing is, dili na mulahos, no? Dili na siya maka-ejaculate og sperm cells, no? Because the vas deferens is cut off. So what will happen to the mature sperm, no? Eventually matanggong lang mangguna sila diha sa kato rete testis nimo. Eventually kaunon lang gyapon na sila sa mga macrophages there. Wala pa ko nakadungog og study na makadaot siya, but and no, masturbation will not decrease your risk for prostatic carcinoma, no. So kato, it will just be absorbed, no. Mga matay lang man sila eventually ang mga sperm cell, and then eventually absorb lang sila gihapon. So your vas deferens has thick muscular layers, no, for peristalsis para ma-expel jud, makusog jud tong sa propel jud. So most semen, always remember this, 9 out of 10 times magawas jud ni sa board exam, seminal vesicles jud ang majority na production sa fluid sa semen, no. So kato secretory mucosa, no. And then tapos inside the medial prostate gland there are 2 ejaculatory ducts, dozens of ducts from the tubular acinar prostatic glands merge with the urethra that transports semen through the penis, no. Kaning tubulo-acinar prostatic glands that merge with the urethra is very important, no, because in cases na pagtigulang na ka, no, your prostate starts to get janky, no, makita mo mangguna na it will undergo what we call hyperplasia. And mahita mo na hyperplasia, in hyperplasia meaning an increase in the cells, no. So mudako siya. In contrast to your hypertrophy, mudako lang ang cell, which can be seen in your skeletal muscles kung mag-gym ka, no. Dili managhan imuhang cells, no, but mudako siya kay managhan ang protein na nahitabo sa sulod sa cell. So pag magka benign prostatic hyperplasia ka or prostatic hyperplasia, maipit na imong urethra, so dili ka kaihi properly. So what will happen, you will have kanang UTI, no. So semen components from the seminal vesicles nourish the sperm, like I said earlier, katong gasolina niya para modagan, which is fructose, no, activate ancillary and muscle activity in the female reproductive tract, prostaglandins, no, and control the product's viscosity for sperm release, no. This is what I said earlier, no. This is the urethra. Kung hubag na kayo ni siya, dili na makaagi kaayo imuhang ihi, no. Okay, this is from the bladder man, ang urethra nimo. Ay kani na may origin from the bladder. Di na kaagi diha ang ihi, matanggong na sa imong bladder. So incomplete voiding of urine. So the penis contains 2 dorsal corpora cavernosa, and periurethral corpus spongiosum, all composed of vascular cavernous tissue and small amounts of surrounding smooth tissue and helicine arteries, no? So, one kanang mnemonic na never pa jud na ako nalimtan, no, is your point and shoot, no? So, your point, meaning for the erection, nag-point siya, it's because of your parasympathetic stimulation. So, what will happen is vasodilate imong helicine na arteries, meaning magkasulod og blood from your systemic na blood vessel moadto siya sa imuhang corpus cavernosum, corpus spongiosum, thus mag-erect siya, no. One thing kaning Viagra, no, well, actually brand name ng Viagra, may tabuan na ang purpose jud ana niya sa una kay tambal na siya for heart attack, mo na yung main goal, but ang iyang side effect kay katulagi erections, no. So may tabo ka na kung sige kag inom ana, apart from na kay erection, muna og pud imuhang blood vessel kay nag-dilate naman tanan imuhang mga systemic na siya, no. Anyway, so for the sympathetic is your shoot, point. So point and shoot, no. So shooting is your sympathetic na stimulation, no. So mag-constrict mahitabuan na pag shooting kay mag-constrict na tanang mga muscles, no, sa sa imong mga ducts ganiha. At the same time, after na release na nila tanan ang semen, no, mag-constrict na imong helicine arteries, no. So inhibit na niya tong blood flow into the corpus spongiosum cavernosa. Excuse me. May tabuan na mobalik na tong dugo to your systemic circulation, no. Mao na mo flaccid na siya ang penis, no. Ganito. So prostate gland, corpora amelicea na siya. Ang CA. So if makakita ka na benign na siya na condition, ideally, usually, then this is your bulbourethral glands, no. This is your corpus cavernosum on top, no. Dorsal ang taas. So this is your corpora spongiosum, no. So actually all the sensation sa shaft sa penis, no, is only from the skin ang iyang sensation, and then siya your glands, no, the head part, it is synonymous with the clitoris in the females, no. So that very na siya, daghan na siya og nervous na nerves diha, na sensitive na siya diha. So so that's all, no, female naman ni siya. And if you have any questions, please feel free to PM me lang, and I hope na namoy natun if you have corrections, please correct me, no. And I really would like na ma-correct ko if na mali para ma-rectify nato dayon. And kung na may suggestions, anything. So going back, akong quiz ultra lang pod, kung sa lang pod akong giingon mo pod to. Remember, the male gonad is not the penis but the testis, no. The female gonad is not the vagina, it is the ovaries, no. So I will upload the video maybe the following day from the time I uploaded this. So I pray na study hard mo, keep safe, no, always pray, and good night, and God bless. Thank you.